5 years and still talking. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
From the most infected city in America, New York, New York. The city's so nice they infected it twice. It's Alex Bennett with the Ramble, and we're here from now until midnight, Eastern Daylight Time. Almost wasn't going to do this show tonight because what I did was this afternoon I went on Facebook and just did an impromptu show. Just, to have something to do something with something here. And I didn't think anybody would call, and as it was, we had 7 people call the program, and we had a very nice discussion. And I also thank Jason, one of our regulars, for joining us, and Rob for regular one of our. Can I try that again? Who's one of our regulars to try it again. That he was here. I can't talk straight. I've got a headache. As soon as I get a headache, I run in and take my temperature, and I took it, and it was 98.2, and then I took it again, and it was 97.6. So I'm okay. This thing is just getting to me. Just absolutely getting to me. Oh my God. It's just amazing how it has just, this whole thing has just gotten way out of hand. We are now at least 1 month into our isolation, and it's not fun. It's not fun. I'm getting squirrely, and I really want to go out, but I can't go out because I might die. So, that's a nice thing. Oh, sorry, I look at this quickly. I've got to go out. I forgot my coffee. I left it out there. So here, for a moment, take a look at this, okay? That's our map of the coronavirus around the world. I'm running out of here. I made my coffee and I forgot to go get it. Okay, so it was sitting out there getting cold. Anyway, there's our map. Okay, I hope you had a good chance to look at it for about 30 seconds. Boy, was that a run. Plus, Marjorie's in the bathroom using it. She pees so much during the middle of the night, I'm beginning to think she has a prostate instead of me. Anyway. Look at that map. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that map. Look at me. Look at that map. Look at me. Look at that map. Okay. Anyway, we have hit over 1.5 million people worldwide. Okay? See that up there? In fact, can I double click on it and we can just, we can do that. There it is, folks. Total confirmed. 1,514,866, and that's the total confirmed. All right? The rest were baptized. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be here all week. Let's go to the U.S. Here's what we got. Ready for the big number? Drum roll. Okay, big drum roll. 431,838 in the United States. Okay. All righty. That means that here in New York, we have hit an even 500 deaths right there. I don't know if you can see it up there. I have it highlighted. 446 deaths in Wayne, Michigan. I guess that's Michigan in general. So Oh boy, this is not good. And I'm out of breath now. Why? Because I had to run out there and I haven't been working out. In Spain, which is the second most, well, actually, see, they've got more than we do. Although, wait a minute, hold on a second. They've got slightly more than we do by about, if my addition is right, 14 people. But the number of cases in Spain is 148,000 as opposed to our 431,000. So on a percentage basis, they are doing far worse than we are. I mean, they really are hurting. You go to Italy, which used to be the standard for bad stuff, and they're now down to 139,422, but they've got 17,669 deaths, okay, total deaths, out of 139. Ours, again, is 431, okay? That's 2.5 times what that is, and yet we've got 14,000, they've got 17,000. Not good. France, 10,000 deaths on 113,000 people. See, I mean, I know we look like we're doing badly, but when you compare that, see, we got 14,000. You compare that to France in percentage-wise, they got more deaths per thousand than we do. And Germany, you got only 2,349 deaths. China, 3,337 deaths. Everybody is saying how we probably can't believe what the Chinese have to say, and you probably are right. But I want you to look at China. If you go down here, see right here where I'm moving that stuff around. Okay, see that? 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 This is. They flattened the curve, and they started flattening the curve in February. It went up here. This is the height, and then it's still going up just ever so slightly. But, you know, now on the other hand, you go to the U.S. and take a look at this. Boy, did we, between March, let's see here, 12th, okay, and today, which is April 7th, look how much we've jumped, all right? A couple other countries, Iran, they're not doing too well. They've got totally confirmed, let's see here. They're in bad shape, Iran. Let me do this again. Am I right? Yeah, that's right. They've got 1,500, 1,514, 866 total confirmed, okay? But the death rate, okay, is so much higher. Total deaths, 88. Is this right? Am I seeing this right? Yes, I am. 88,444. Wow. And that's on 1.5 million people that we're at, what are we at? We're only okay, they really are just hurting. Oh, man. Oh, wait a minute. Now I clicked it again and I've only got 60. Oh, there we go. No. Okay, here we go. This is their total here. They're at 64,586. Okay, that's the number of people, and they got almost 4,000 total deaths. Okay, somehow that thing wasn't clicking right. United Kingdom, 7,111 deaths out of 61,474 people. Total recovered, you know, I don't understand this. Out of all of that, only 345 people totally recovered? Really? I find that hard to believe, but anyway. Anyway, this is 184 countries, ladies and gentlemen. 184 countries and regions. Okay, so that is what this map is all about. Oh boy. And of course, here in New York, again, we just hit the 500 deaths. It says 500 deaths in Nassau, New York. Okay, it's 4,571 here in New York City. Let me, let me see here. Well, I haven't got another way of bringing it up. But anyway, we're Death City here. The numbers have changed today. And let me explain them to you for a second. We had the most people die yesterday of any time during the coronavirus, something like 750 people, something like that, I think, maybe a little higher than that. But we had more people released from the hospital than were admitted to it. Okay? That's for starters. Now, what this all means is this is all kind of good news rather than bad news. Yeah, we had more people die yesterday than ever died before. I think if you go over to, where is it? Do we have Drudge here? Do I have Drudge? No, I guess I don't have Drudge up here. But Drudge was saying, worst day ever in New York and so on and so forth. Yeah, it was terrible. It was horrible. It was the most amount of people that died. But we had less intubations, less admissions, more people being let out of the hospital. And all those people who died were people who had been there for weeks and weeks and weeks. This has been building up. And, each day that somebody was still intubated and not off breathing apparatus is one more day that they were getting closer to death. Okay, and today was the day that the bill came due. Okay, now I don't know if tomorrow will be any better, but what it means is the amount of people who are coming down with it is diminishing, and that our distance thing, our being socially distant, and which I've always been, as I say, socially distant, and the social distancing, and also just wearing a face mask on your face. Well, that's the only place they go. Are all helping, and that we can't. And they keep using the term, we can't let our foot off the gas. And the fact is, we can't let our foot off the gas. Our foot is firmly stuck onto the gas, and that's a problem. Hold on a second. I gotta just make sure something's happening here. Okay, all right. There's. I got to do something here just for me here, so that I see everything in the same place. Okay, there we go. And there. Okay. We can't let ourselves off the gas. We've got to keep doing what we're doing. We can't think that all of a sudden, because things are getting better, we're fine. We're going to be okay. We're going to be terrific. No problem, right? No, a lot of problems. We have to keep doing this and doing this until we literally strangle the juice out of this flu, and we can do it. We can do it. Neither Marjorie and I have been out for days. Marjorie went out one day, I think it was maybe Monday, she went to the store. And I didn't like her doing that. And I've now told her, I forbid you from even going out. Even if we sit here and starve, we're eating lint, okay? I mean, we got some stuff in the freezer, and we can get inventive, and there are a lot of eggs. We can always make eggs, and there's a lot of bacon. We can make bacon, and there's some ham, and we can have the ham. Tonight we ordered out for Italian food, and it's a little on the pricey side, but everything's on the pricey side, folks. Really, I mean, things are not cheap. Amazon said they weren't going to let any gouging go on Amazon, and yet I went to Amazon, and everybody's gouging, including Amazon. What did we look up the other for something? Oh, we buy this cheese. Okay, we buy this cheese at Costco, and we get a wedge that's about like this, okay? I'd say that's approximately, and that runs about maybe $12 or something like that. We went up on and looked for it. It was Jarlsberg, okay? And we were looking at it on the web, on Amazon, and a whole wheel, okay, is $325. But we went to the store and we bought, you see, that's the $12 wedge, okay, that we get at Costco, okay, of this particular brand. Well, go like that, okay? And that's what she bought the other day at the grocery store for, I think it was $9. I mean, dude, come on. Everybody's gouging. And I guess most people aren't complaining about the gouging, but I mean, I think it's terrible. And then if you try to go on Amazon, you want to order something, you might not get it till the end of the month. I have these chocolates I like. I like these Russell Stover's sugar-free chocolates, okay? So I go out and I buy a bag of them for $9, right? So I went to buy them the other day, and the bag itself was about $15, and it wouldn't. But the bad news was it couldn't be delivered till the 28th of April. You know, by then I will have lost my Jones for Russell Stover's sugar free. So then they had some in big batch for like $35, and they could get it to me by Sunday. But I mean, delivery day times are off. I mean, forget it. You go to the grocery store, all the prices are jacked up. And then they say, no gouging. Nobody should gouge. Not, you know. And yet it's going on. And Amazon, while saying they will not put up with it, seem to be putting up with it okay. Anyway, so that's that. Let me see here. There was one other thing I wanted to talk about. Oh, yeah. Last night Phil was lauding Franklin Graham. Franklin Graham is the bastard son of Billy Graham. It's not that he was born out of wedlock, it's just that he's a bastard. The guy's a real jerk, okay? But he was lauding him because they put up these tents in Central Park where they put up these tents for coronavirus people, and then they're moving some of them over there to ease the pain of the amount of people in Mount Sinai Hospital, which is right across the street. And I don't know how many beds there are in there, but it's something like maybe 100 beds or something to take the load off. And I always thought, number one, that you know, Mount Sinai had put them there, and then it turns out they hadn't. That this little jerk, Franklin Graham, had put them there. And I went, oh, well, I don't like the guy, but geez, doing something awfully nice. And then I was talking today to my friend Shecky, who, when he didn't call me back yesterday, I thought, oh my God, he's in the hospital. You know, this first thing that comes to mind. But no, he was okay. He just didn't want to talk to anybody. Which, if you want to talk about socially distant, he's good at that too. Anyway, so he told me, oh, Franklin Graham, you know what that's about, don't you? And I said, no. He said, well, it's his religious thing. It's called Samaritan's Purse. And I said, yeah, that's what it says on the side of the tent. And he says, yeah. He said, do you realize that what you have to do in order to be a doctor with Franklin Graham? And I said, no. He says, you have to make a pledge to be against gays. You have to sign a pledge saying that you don't believe in homosexuality. And I'm going, you know, on one hand, you're a Samaritan, and on the other hand, you're the devil. You know, I mean, and so I don't think so good of him, because he puts a little proviso here on what we should do. I'm trying to get this back where it should be. Okay, we did that, and we're doing that, and everything's fine. I'm having, when I have to do a show, and at the same time switch everything and make sure that everything's working right, it's not easy. Okay, but anyway, so I just wanted to make that point, and thanks to Shecky for telling me about Franklin Graham and his Samaritan's Purse. That a Samaritan is somebody who does something for the good of mankind, but doesn't put a proviso on it. And in this case, Franklin Graham does. Oh, you can come be a doctor for us, but well, what if you're gay and you've got the coronavirus? I wonder, they not let you come in at all to there? Anyway, and they haven't got enough beds there that it's made much of a difference. Javits Center has made a difference. The ship, the coronavirus ship, the HMS, we're going to get you well. Is doing a good job, and there are a lot of other people doing a good job too. So, Franklin Graham, I'm not going to laud you because you when you put a proviso like that on it, I can't trust you. Anyway, let me turn on the Skype lines. As I say, I was going to run the show that we ran today, and then I forgot to actually make a recording of it, so I had to take it off of Facebook, and then I had to convert it, and it didn't look good enough, and then I thought. And there are people who call this show every night, and they're looking forward to it, some of them, especially in this thing. So I'll do 3 hours worth of shows today. What the hell? No big deal. I'm not going anywhere. I haven't got much of anything to do. But now the lines are open, and if you don't call, I'll start playing the show we did this afternoon. Which, by the way, for those of you who didn't hear it, it's over on Facebook. It's over on my Facebook page. It's running there right now. Let me see here. Here comes Jeff, and let me see here. There's Jeff, and here comes Phil. Let me see here. Yeah, there's Phil. Now I got to give them a little space on this on the thing here. First of all, oh, wait a minute, Rob Alfano. Oh, yeah, Rob was here last night, so he should be right in there. Let me see here.
We got spaces this afternoon to a bunch of people that never call.
Yeah. You know something? It was wonderful, Phil.
Yeah?
You know why it was wonderful? Take a guess.
But I wasn't there.
That's correct, Phil. Now, let me put these people on here first of all.
I can help with that.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me see here. First of all, we'll have Rob Alfano. Okay, he'll get him on there. Okay, there's Rob, and then we'll probably put Phil Meyer in the second part here. Okay, and put him there. And then we will take, in the third spot, we'll put, let's see here. Let's see, Josh. Where's Josh? There's Josh. There we go. Then we go over to, we get to go to our six-pack here, and we go to number 4, and that would be, let's see here. We got Rob, we got Ham, we got Pam. We got to do, let me see here. I'm going to cancel. Who's got the audio up? I don't know. Anyway, let me see here. We need, Zeller. Let's see here. That would be that one. And then we can, come on, do it. Oh, there he is. There he is. Okay,
took his wife's name.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Just shut up, Phil. I'm trying to do something here, okay?
Well, he wants to listen to Kvetch.
Well, yeah. Here comes Kevin. Okay. Wait a minute. Now, hold on a second. I've got to do these all. First, I got number 5 spot. We'll get the Hog Rider in there. Where is he? Hog Rider. There he is, Hog Rider. And then finally, and Charlie. We got to get Charlie in there. Okay, hold on, Charlie. One more minute, and I will get Charlie in there. There's Charles Wallace. He's always very easy to find because he uses his real name there. He doesn't use some kind of numbers and digits and things like that. And hello to everybody. How are you this evening?
Hey.
Okay, good. Hey, Rob, good to see you again.
Yeah, twice in one day. How about
Twice
that?
in one day. That was a good little show today, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
fun. All different people.
Yeah.
Didn't recognize anybody.
Yeah. Except for Jason was there. So,
Jason, right?
yeah. Yeah. So that was nice. And Mr. Wheeler wrote me, Josh, and said, "Are you going to do a show tonight? Because you did one in the afternoon." And I wrote him, I said, "Yes, we are." And the reason I am is because a lot of people who are calling right now didn't know we were doing that, and then they would turn on, they'd see I'm running this rerun of something, and I didn't want to confuse everybody. So if I do one in the afternoon, I will do one in the afternoon and try to do one in the evening as well. If I'm really tired, I then will repeat it, but I'm not going to do it that much anyway. So. And also, at night, we'll let anybody on who's gay, but during the day, Franklin Graham says I can't have anybody on who's gay. So,
Did you sign the declaration with Franklin?
mm-hmm.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I thought you did.
And I'm not even a doctor, so
Well, it doesn't matter. Neither is anybody else that's in that tent city.
Yeah. So, anyway, so that really disappointed me because I thought, it disappointed me, and then it didn't disappoint me. The part that disappointed me was the guy was finally doing something decent, and I found out he was being an ass about it. And then what? What were you saying, Charlie?
It's worse than that. They proselytize at you the whole time you're in that camp, too.
Yeah. Don't worry. Well, you don't need a respirator. God will take care of you. So, whatever.
Just like those religious people that they interviewed coming out of their church ceremony, and they said, "The blood of Jesus is on me. I'm protected. I'm not worried."
Yeah, and that preacher, let's face it, most preachers are thieves anyway. They're simply fleecing a bunch of people based on a myth that maybe they will be going to some place after their death. But of course, you can't get your money back once you're dead, okay? And you can't go complain to them. And this guy wanted to hold his services so he could keep making his money. I mean, terrible, just terrible.
Maybe just wanted to give people a little bit of solace.
Oh yeah,
And a little bit of virus.
there you go.
A little bit of COVID, too.
Wait a minute, you're breaking up on us a little bit, Charlie.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
What'd you say, Charlie? Charlie?
I said the preacher wanted to give them a little bit of COVID, too.
Yeah, a little bit of COVID, a little bit of it, a little bit of that. Anyway, but so when I found that out today, I went, well, what do I expect out of him? You do good works because good works, you're repaid in the wonderful feeling you have for doing them, And let me see here. We have somebody here that I've never seen before, or have I seen you before? Hold on a second. We're going to put him in the 7 slot. Hold on. Let me see. What is the name you're using?
Jeffrey.
Wait, talk louder. I can't hear you.
Jeff, my name.
Your microphone.
Jeff?
We can't hear your mic.
He's not on mic. He thinks he's on, I think.
Oh, sorry.
Let's see.
Got to choose. Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Hi, can you hear me now?
A little better. Not that terrific, but we can hear you a little better. Let me see. And it's G. Hurst, right? You haven't called the show before, have you?
No, I haven't.
You haven't.
No, I haven't.
Okay, and let me see here. And your first name is?
Yeah.
What's your first name?
Jeff.
Jeff. Okay, Jeff. Okay, we got that down now. Jeff, where are you calling from, Jeff?
British Columbia, north of Revelstoke.
Revelstoke.
Huh?
No, I'm north of Revelstoke.
Oh, you're north of Revelstoke. Okay, so you're in the middle of nowhere. You're not in the middle of
Completely
nowhere, but you can see it from where you are. So.
Pretty much safe from the virus.
Oh, there you go. When you move that thing up, we could hear you better.
Oh, is
You
that
had a
better?
thing. You just raised your hand. You were holding it in your hand, and you raised it up, and it's like on your thing. So
Maybe it works as an antenna, I guess.
yeah. You sound better when you do that. Let me see here. We have to add one more person to our crew here, and this is Bree, who has suddenly disappeared. I don't know where he went, but I'll put him in here anyway. And
Can you hear me, Alex?
we can hear you. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ah, okay. Because I have set up the microphone thing, and I just have to figure out how to get my voice out of it. Okay, there we go.
Back off about an inch.
Because
You're a little distorted.
it kind of looks like you're going
Yes.
to break out into song.
I have a mic holder coming later. I've got two of them coming. I have a light thing coming. I'm going to be all set up, and I finally figured out how to get. I have this old M-Box Digi Design thing, and I figured out how to get Pro Tools working, and so I can do podcasts and stuff now, and I can record my stuff again.
Oh,
It's been a
really?
long time,
Yeah.
you know.
He is coming to us, of course, from Malaysia. How's it doing in Malaysia? I didn't look at the thing to see how Malaysia's doing. Here we
Yeah,
go. Here's Malaysia.
we're okay.
You're at let's see here, 4,119 confirmed cases, 65 dead.
Not too bad. I think they're doing a good job. We've been in partial lockdown and then lockdown for over, I guess, a month now, and I think they're doing a good job.
Yeah.
So far, it's been okay. The grocery store thing is a little bit of a, it's a little difficult, but we can do it, and it's all right.
Yeah. Jeff, where did you say you were calling from again?
Fort St. John, British Columbia.
British Columbia. So we got British Columbia, we got Malaysia, and we've got Charlie in Texas, and Kevin in where you're in the East Bay, right, Kevin?
No, down by Gilroy.
Gilroy. Okay, and then we got Phil. He's out
Southeast.
there in Contra Costa County. We got Josh. I keep forgetting where Josh is.
He's in Ohio.
In Ohio, and
Can't tell with all that red.
Rob is down there in which Virginia are you in?
Virginia, yep.
Virginia. Okay.
That's an Electro voice there, isn't it, Rob?
Yeah, it's an RE20.
Yeah, RE20. I've got a Sennheiser 441
Well,
and an
what do we do?
AKG something or other.
So did you
This
hear
one-
Bernie bailed
Wait a
out
minute,
today?
wait a minute. This sounds like a eBay here with everybody. Here's what mic I have. and
I'm
here's-
gonna turn this in the wrong direction.
Yeah, no, but there's a good place for us to start. Bernie. Bernie gave up today.
Bernie put out the fire today.
Well,
Yeah.
I think Bernie realized, okay, that among other things, he's got a problem. He had a problem with all this. I think he's a victim of the coronavirus in his own way.
I got ripped off. Now I got a Bernie button and nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Picture's frozen. I don't know if it's just me.
Well, there was
You can use it again in 4 years.
there's a very
This
interesting.
one from 2016.
Yeah, he'll be 82 then. I think not too old to be president.
He'll still keep running.
Yeah, but here's
It's like
the thing.
Harold Stassen.
Here's the thing that somebody mentioned today, and I think it's a good point. All the things that Bernie's been calling for, which most people go, oh, he's just a socialist and blah, 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 are starting to look a little bit better after this coronavirus, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, I knew you'd say that, Phil. Don't be so predictable.
It's to socialism whether we like it or not. Otherwise, we're not getting through this.
Well, I
With that-
mean, Phil's is hitting up the government for 52,000 socialist bucks.
Yeah.
You know,
That they will forgive if I pay my people.
yes, if you pay your people, but
Socialism.
still, it's socialism.
If I could get it up to 1 million, I'd just take off and go to Belize. Then you'd have
How
a call.
come Trump's calling up Biden to suck his ass now, huh?
Because I reached out to Trump and said he wanted to talk to him about
He
it.
reached out to Trump.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, Biden called Trump.
No, he didn't call him. No,
Well,
neither of them.
don't let Trump reach out to you because he likes to touch pussy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably got that shit on his hands.
Touch your hair and suck your face. And have you seen the Biden shots of him with the little kids? Yeah,
Come
Look at
on.
those.
Well, years from now, what I'll be most interested in is someone who will eventually, you can't do it now, the water is too muddy, to find out all the ways that Trump has benefited financially from the situation. I mean, just so many stories coming out about how he owns control and has some company that has ties to this drug company, and his son-in-law owns this or that. I love it. He'll come and say, I'm losing so much money by being president. I'm losing so much money in this. But, it's like Dick Clark in the 1950s. He was very clever and Alex, you know this better than anyone.
Mm-hmm.
He was very clever about getting songwriting credits, and he had all his little ways of making money. So you wouldn't see it, but he was just filthy rich off of all these other.
Well, there were ways of him. The best way to put it is there were ways of him getting payola without breaking the law. So getting a songwriting credit as an example.
So get a songwriting credit for this virus. It'd be a good thing.
So anyway,
I'm gonna have a sound effect here of crickets every time he tells a joke like that.
Yeah. I must have something like that.
Yeah. Jeff, how you feeling about things?
Yeah, it's worrisome. I have two grown daughters, and I'm worried for them more than me. But apparently, it doesn't matter what kind of shape you're in. If you get the certain strain, that's going to knock you on your ass or possibly kill you.
Yeah, yeah. How old are you?
I'm 53.
You're 53.
Wow. I thought you were younger.
Yeah, yeah. So you're over the cusp of when it starts becoming dangerous.
Well, no, I mean, like I said, any underlying conditions will add to it. Like I've got high blood pressure, and my daughters have asthma.
Mm-hmm.
So anything that you have against you, and that doesn't mean anything either, because people that are perfectly healthy are getting laid out. So it's just hit and miss, right? It's like I don't know if you watch Real Time with Bill Maher. Yeah, Seth MacFarlane on. He said, "Well, if you had a bag of Skittles with 100 Skittles in a bag and 2 of them were poison, you wouldn't eat them. You wouldn't try any of them, right?" The odds of you going out, and like I wear a N95 mask when I go to the store, and I live in a town of 15,000 people, and we're pretty much locked down, but I still don't take that chance.
Yeah. Oh no. There's no reason to take any chances yet.
Right.
Unless you think you already had it and recovered.
Well,
then you don't know.
Yeah.
but you don't
But
know
you
that,
might
and
know about-
unfortunately, we don't have enough tests out there to test for that.
And the doctors still don't know if how your immunity holds up. If you're
Or
recovered.
you may have immunity, and then again, maybe not. They
don't know enough.
Yes, Jeff.
Can I just a non sequitur? I want to apologize to Bill for.
I'll tell you, do me a favor,
Yeah.
Jeff. Do me a favor. Take that.
Yeah.
You're using like a headset like this, right? There's something
Yeah.
There's something you held up and brought up closer to your mouth, and it's somehow we were hearing you better.
Is that better?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Phil, can I apologize to you?
Oh, I know you're Canadian. That's what Canadians do. But
I think
don't know what I did, but
Sorry.
apologies.
no, I'm sorry. That's what Canadians do. No, for calling you such an asshole and bigot, and wind liquor and a Trump fan and all that. I just know what you are really is a really good friend to Alex, and you're putting on an act.
Hey, don't say that. Makes me
support-
look terrible. Don't say
Yeah.
that, Jeff.
No, I truly support Trump, and I'm a generous guy, so I lend Alex some of my
With that
friendship.
hat, it looks like you also support Rembrandt.
Tony sent me this hat. I told him not to send me anything. He sends stuff. I tell him don't send anything or I'll refuse it. But he sent me this hat. I kind of like it.
Yeah, yeah. But,
I, like a lot of people, support
thank
the
you for
office of
what
the
you-
presidency, and
Yeah.
it's hard when you see things that are happening. I'm always conflicted about it. I am not a never Trumper. I actually, during the election, I didn't really care whether it was Clinton or Trump. I thought if it were Trump that maybe he could, based on his semi-celebrity of TV-ness, that he could somehow bring people together, that he could change his tune, and I was completely wrong about that. I held out hope that the office would change him, much in the same way that I view the office as an American. And so but he plays on that. He treads on.
I saw a documentary a while back in which they had the two of the producers of The Apprentice who said they feel very guilty now because what they did was they made him look better than he was. In other words, they established that credibility by putting him in a chair, lighting him beautifully, writing a script that he used, and presenting this person who supposedly was take charge. And they said he was nothing like that. And in fact, they had a lot of trouble working with him because he was so bad at it. And
any of us in radio, Rob, you'll know this. Production is always better than the live, because when you can produce it, you make it look so and sound perfect.
Well, that whole conference room they used in there was actually a set they built in an empty room on one of the floors in the place, and then that whole lobby they go into was also a set that they built in, and they did it all in Trump Tower, but they built sets, and then the perfect lighting and all of that, and they said, we established that this guy had some kind of credibility because we presented him that way on television, and we feel guilty for it. Now we want the world to know it was a complete lie. It was television. It was a fabrication.
That's what you do on all these things. Even on this show, people light themselves and do things to make it look better because they're interested.
If that bothers you, Phil, okay, here we go.
Well, no, can you turn it down a little more?
Wait a minute. Turn it on. There we go.
But Phil, you would have a lot more credibility if you were able to, on occasion, say that maybe Trump didn't do the greatest job in this particular case, but you kind of have a blind following to him on anything, and that's
exactly my point. I said that to you the other night. If once in a while you thought that he went over the line or did something that, everything can't be perfect for not everybody.
And at the same time, I have also applauded. I've given credit to Trump in some cases. So I like to think that I'm nonpartisan, that I'm a centrist, pragmatic, a realist, and I think that gives me a better position because I've never, if you go back and check the tape, I've never used a swear word with Trump. I've never immediately condemned him for something out of the hat. I like to look at everything clearly and to try to, empirically see what's going on. And I can tell you it's not right. It's not right, a lot of the things. But again, it's my respect for the office that keeps me from going further with that. And also the fact that I'm sitting at home watching things online. So I may not have all the facts, but I can tell you that I would feel much more comfortable if, as I said before, Barack Obama or George Bush were in office right now. I'd feel much more comfortable. I believe in them. I'm just sorry, but Trump, I can't believe in him.
Well, you're welcome to believe what you want to believe. I happen to believe he's doing the right thing, but on the other hand, you're a smart guy, and I respect the way you approach your thoughts. I happen to disagree with them, and that doesn't make your thoughts wrong, or does it make my thoughts wrong? I support him, and there's a thing when you have a leader And this guy's not breaking the law. He's not doing things. He's not throwing people in the concentration camps. He's doing what he feels is right.
How do you know he's not breaking the law, Phil? How do you know he's not breaking the law?
To do it.
I do have one thing with
Well,
regards to
wait a
that,
minute.
but
Hold on
you're
a
right
second.
with
Let me-
police.
Charlie was saying something. Let me just hear from Charlie here for a second. Then we'll get to you.
I just said Trump's broken many laws. The very job he did with the Ukraine was breaking the law. You can't ask a foreign country to interfere with the election.
That wasn't
That's
by
against the law, period.
He didn't ask him to interfere with the election. He
No,
asked
let's
him
not rehash it, Phil,
Son.
and quit giving us the Fox version of that whole story. Okay.
Fox version is the true version. You're
Oh,
listening.
really? Just like the coronavirus information that Fox gave out for the longest time?
Well,
That's
hey,
a big hoax. It's a Democratic.
If you got somebody to blame, go to the World Health Organization.
No,
Oh, here
no.
we go. Here we
Tiny.
go. Shut up about the World Health Organization.
Yeah, we're
Just
talking
because
about-
that's the new Trumpism. Yesterday, you wouldn't even known what the World Health Organization was. So
Yeah,
don't give me that.
who?
Don't even start with me on that one.
I've heard their music, Tommy, and all of those.
Yeah.
You know.
Hear the
That's
cricket-
That's like
hear the
blaming
crickets,
the League
Phil?
of Nations for World War II.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but here's the item I come back to. I am teaching research methods this semester, and it says, without reliable published research, we would be prisoners of what we alone see and hear, locked in the opinions of the moment. No doubt, most of our everyday opinions are sound, but mistaken ideas, even ugly and dangerous ones, flourish because too many people accept what they hear or what they want to believe on not very good evidence. And when they act on those opinions, they can lead themselves and us into disaster.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's what it's about. It's like Trump can spin anything as long as we're not willing to empirically investigate.
Well,
You know?
how do you support saying that he's bought a company or bought into a company that makes this drug that the government bought 29 million doses of, and when it's blatantly false? And
that isn't blatantly false, Phil. I've seen the research on it. He bought it through a fund. He bought into a fund that has as one of its holdings that particular drug.
So you know how crazy that is. And when did he buy that fund? When
I
did he
have
buy it?
I have no idea, Phil. But
Before the coronavirus.
Phil, you're saying it's not true. You can't prove it's not. It's not true.
Well, you can't prove it's true.
No, but you're the one that's accusing me of saying it's not true. And any
You're
number of people have been
getting
reporting it in the last couple of days. And
That's where we go wrong, though. It wasn't just this one story. It's that there's so many that it's and that benefits Trump because then it muddies the waters. But where there's smoke, there's fire, and I think that some of these things have to be going on. I do not believe for a second that Trump sits there in the office and says, "I do this altruistically. That I and my family are going to go into the poorhouse based on what we're doing." I don't believe that for a second. I think he has other ways because that's his MO. That's what he's done his whole entire life. It's like Bernie Sanders, what he's done his whole entire life, you can just see. So he's making money. And I don't mind, by the way. I don't mind if he makes money. What I mind is when he covers it up or pretends it doesn't exist. I'd feel much better if you just come forward and say, "Oh, yeah, I have stock in that company and I made a lot of money." Okay, no big deal. That I would be more okay with.
You're accusing him of something that there is no
Not
proof.
accusing.
Yeah.
I'm saying that, no, there's no accusation here. I'm saying
He
based on the way he operates, I don't believe, and again, it's a belief, so I'm qualifying that. I believe that he makes money in numerous ways based on his position, and that he's aware of it, and that he just doesn't care about it. Looks the other way.
Well, didn't they order 8 years of his tax returns? I thought that was.
And he won't turn
that
them
was
over.
He's never released his
He
tax
won't
return.
turn him over.
Yes, but I understand that they ordered those 8 years, and eventually you'll get to see them.
Big fucking
When he's
deal.
out.
Never
I
got him.
ordered a face mask. I don't have
As I said, years down the road, we're going to see, and it's going to be amazing.
I agree with you.
Well, when the proof is out there, I'll look at it. When it's accusation and innuendo, I'm not interested.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Either way.
It isn't innuendo, though. He does. The family owns stock in this trust, which as it's one of its components, the company that makes this drug. Which, by the way, since Trump has touted this, and today he touted it again.
Yeah.
You know, in spite of the fact that his people have told him, stop it already. You know, you're hurting people by doing it because the drug isn't proven. The drug in usage with other drugs that are used along with it to make it work, if it does work, they don't even know that, causes heart attacks.
He said if somebody is dying and
Phil, that's not the point. You're not listening. The fact is that if they take this medicine, then it's not if they are dying, they will die.
Yeah. Well, some of them don't have a choice.
Phil,
and,
that's not the point. The point is you're not a doctor. You don't go around prescribing medicine to people, and a medicine which is used by lupus patients who need it as a constant regimen, and they now can't get it because it is in such incredible supply because doctors are prescribing it to their people who say, I want to try it because I think it might prevent me from getting the coronavirus. That's not a responsible president, Phil. That is somebody who is harming this country and is killing us all. Yes, Jeff. Shut up.
Jeff.
Shut up,
That's his
Phil.
name.
It's Jeff's turn. Yes, Jeff.
Jeff.
Thank you, Phil. Bree, can you answer a question for me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you explain the concept of that Occam's razor?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly the point. It's based on the preponderance of evidence. The simplest explanation is probably true. It's, you know, what we have in the White House right now is we have public relations for essentially. I don't see leadership. I see public relations. There's a difference. You know, Trump is very good about getting, hey, this is just like the flu. It's like, and it's a miracle. It's going to go away. We got this totally under control. Now, I understand when he says he wants to be cheerful, he wants to be positive. Absolutely. That is a great position, but not when people are dying in the droves. That's not the right attitude. You don't say like a miracle, we've got this under control and like a miracle it will go away. These words have meaning, you know, and in any other situation, it's not a big deal. And I laugh at it. And I think he's funny. And I love the media gets to cover him and he says crazy things. That's fine. But this is probably the one case where, you know, a disease is spreading and it's going to continue and you can't wish it away. And you can't say, well, there's light at the end of the tunnel, you know, not for a lot of people. And, you know, just have some compassion for them. I just don't see it. And that's what I want out of my leader. And, you know, that's what I expect out of them. And I'm not getting it. Yeah.
This is a guy in his early 70s that's not going to be around that long. Possibly going to get voted out in November. So he's always been a grifter and looking for the quick buck. So I think that's probably what's going on, right? He doesn't care about the consequences. And you're I'm not sure what's the name of his title at bar, Attorney General. He even said he doesn't care. Like, he says, I'm not going to live forever. We're going to get as much stuff as we want done now, and not even worry about the consequences. They're not going to be around to face them.
And Trump will still be around. If he loses the election, even if, you know, by somehow he agrees to leave, he'll just go over to Trump Hotel and he'll invite OAN over and they'll have their own, you know, so every time the real president has or the elected president has a press conference, he'll have one over in Trump Hotel. He'll make it look just like and he can still use the presidential seal, I think, because, you know, once he's been in office, it could potentially be really crazy.
Let me read something to Phil. President Donald Trump indirectly owns a minute stake in a company that makes the anti-malarial drug hydroxychloroquine, whatever it's called, which he's been promoting as a treatment for the coronavirus and was lobbied to use it by Fox News host Laura Ingraham. Boy, these are medical authorities we're talking about here. And two doctors who frequently come on her show. So there is your proof that he has money in it.
Well,
And you know who? Wait a minute. And you know who I'm quoting?
Who?
Newsmax.
All right. He owns a minute.
That is according to.
Who cares how big of a piece?
That's a.
I mean, if the guy was looking to profit, he would do what those Feinstein and those other senators
that's
did.
According to Newsmax. Okay. That's according to Newsmax. According to to Yahoo News, President Donald Trump reportedly owns a stake in a company that produces the drug that he's repeatedly touted as as a coronavirus treatment. Trump has a small personal financial interest in Sanofi, the French drug maker that makes Planequin. Well, anyway, it's a version of hydroxychloroquine. In addition, Sanofi's largest stockholders include mutual fund company run by major Republican donor Ken Fisher. Okay, so
sounds good to me.
It doesn't sound good to me. He's trying to tout one of his friend's stocks.
You know what the stock symbol is for that company?
It's probably a skull and crossbones.
I'd like to look at it.
Yeah.
You know, I do have 5 shares of the Dow.
Phil, ever since you bought stock, you suddenly sound like you're a big spender, and you don't have as much stock as I do, as I used to have. By the way, what? I'm down
$120 for since the crash.
Yeah, well, you got a lot of stock there, Phil.
5 shares.
5 shares, amounting to how much money?
Well, it started as 1,000. And it was my first experiment or foray. I just opened up the account, and then as soon as I opened it up, it went into the gutter.
I'm going to come to you for stock advice like I would go to Trump for medical advice. Okay.
I have the answer, though.
Kevin,
whatever I buy, do the opposite.
Okay, Phil, hold it down for a little bit here. Let some other people talk. Let other people breathe, because Kevin the other night felt that when he tried to say something, he started talking and you jumped in, and then he couldn't finish his thought. So watch out when you start jumping in, okay? Kevin, how do you feel about all of this, my friend?
I gave him great stock advice. I told him not to buy, right? And you still did.
Yeah. So he doesn't even listen to you when you're talking on this show. It's other times too.
No. See, you probably didn't hear me.
Yeah. Well, okay. All right. Jeez Almighty, it's more than
Did you hear him describing that whole thing the other day on his press conference? The lady that went to the dentist.
Yeah. I saved her life.
To get the prescription at 10 o'clock at night, and
she was a Democrat. She was a Democrat.
A Democrat too, a black lady Democrat.
Yeah,
and every demographic possible. Black lady Democrat went to Rite Aid to get that prescription, and then came back, and it worked. It worked.
Now,
here's the she was all cured.
It was like an evangelist speech. I couldn't believe it.
Kevin?
What were you saying, Charles? Charlie was talking, Phil.
All right.
Yes, Charlie.
No, I just sarcastically said that 15 minutes later she was all cured.
Yeah. Here's what happens. Let's say she did go do it, okay? And let's say she didn't get the heart attack and she lived and survived, okay? Let's just say that for a moment. There is no proof that because she took that pill, that is what cured her, or she didn't just resolve the illness. And that's why you have studies. And that's why you don't just blatantly tell people to start using drugs. Yes, and Phil, when you put yourself, take your picture off the screen, then all I get is the Skype logo. So please don't do that. Let me see here. I'm trying to think. Where are we? Okay. Yeah, that was pretty pathetic. That was pretty pathetic the other day. The other thing that's been bothering me lately is that he goes, and what news organization are you from? And somebody goes, I'm from such and such. Oh, yeah, that's fake news. Mm-hmm. He tries to, anytime anybody just asks an honest question of him, he's insulted by the fact that he's being called to account for something. And that's why you hold a press conference. And to simply dismiss anybody's question as being fake news, there's no such thing as fake news in a question. There's fake news in reporting the answer to that question, if it isn't reported properly. Yes.
Okay, occasionally he will describe it. I like that. That's a good question.
Yeah.
If it's a
Judging everything.
softball.
Yeah, and that used to be funny to me, and I actually enjoyed it on occasion. But I can't watch anything he's on now because it just does. It's not funny anymore for me.
Well, you know what? You know
it's
what?
not,
You know who's
it's not interesting.
You know who's
anymore.
disappeared from these
Tune into a comedy show for fun, not our president.
No. You see, here's the thing. There was a woman from News One America, right? Who was at every one of his press conferences, even when they had less people at the press conferences and they all had to draw straws to go in. She was always there, asking him the very positive questions. All right? And the other night on John Oliver's show, he pointed out this woman and all the time she had appeared there and all the questions she was asking, how nice he was to her. And ever since then, she hasn't been there. Wow. You know, I mean, and she was always put in as the, what can we call it? I don't know, the wild card.
The foil.
The foil.
Yes, kiss.
Yeah, she was the fall guy. She was the person that was in there to make him look good. Yes, Phil, I see your hand waving at me.
Well, hey, she was in the press room without authorization or credential, and the reason she hasn't been there is she'd been removed because she was going in and she wasn't credentialed to be there. So she was taking spot that should have belonged to someone else.
I believe you're talking about somebody else.
No, that's that. She was from One News Network.
And that's why she was taken out of there?
Or OAN.
Oh, yeah, sure she was, Phil. She
News.
She
that
did-
was why she was taken out.
She disappeared the minute that John Oliver let the world know she existed and was there all the time asking the positive question.
She may have been asking the positive questions, but she was shown the door because she wasn't supposed
No,
to be
she
there.
was shown
on
the
day
door.
was there.
She was shown the door after John Oliver revealed her.
I don't know one way or another if John Oliver broke it or not.
Oh, he
but,
absolutely broke it.
when they discovered that she was going into the room without authorization, they pulled her credentials.
Well, okay.
She was invited. At first she was going in, even though they agreed a certain number would go in for social distancing. She would go in anyway, and that's when the pool of the Reporters Association, I think, pulled her, and then she still kept coming because she was invited personally by the press secretary, the White House press secretary.
Yes, there's the answer.
That's
for you.
my
Which
understanding.
I thought that they pulled
I
her.
don't know.
I don't know any one of the recent ones.
The one that was fired before they even gave a press conference.
It's about public relations. That's why it exists,
Yeah.
and that's what we can look forward to. In November, perhaps we'll see.
No, boy. How are we even going to? Here's a question: how are we even going to hold an election?
That's where I was going. What's going to
Yeah,
happen
we can't.
now that this is all settled out? It looks like Biden's there. Well, what's going to happen with Bernie hanging on to delegates, and with Trump insisting there's not going to be a vote by mail?
Yeah. Look at Wisconsin.
That was another big lie that he told the other day, is that you can't trust vote by mail.
Yeah, because people
in
sit in
fact
rooms
they did
stuffing.
they did research on it, and there was only one case, and that was like somewhere in the 1920s or something, where one vote that was mailed in was illegal.
Yeah, they get dumped, and people sit in rooms and stuff ballots. That doesn't happen.
No, and he made you can't do that. What, we're going to do it your way of cheating by getting the Russians to do it for us?
He's setting the table in case he loses to do nothing but just destroy
Absolutely.
our election process and take away any kind of trust that people have in it. He's setting the table.
You're right. He's setting the scenario.
Of course.
Yeah. Oh, they're going to take.
Well, he's been kind of doing that for a while.
Oh yeah, remember when he thought he was going to lose, the election was rigged, and he becomes elected, and that went away.
Yeah,
but it was
And
rigged.
if the virus sticks around, then I think Trump wins because it will depress the vote tremendously. And the way that Democrats win is by getting out the vote. And disproportionately, the people who are affected by this, who don't have health care, who don't have money, they would vote, for the Democrats. So it looks as if it can keep going. Actually, this could benefit Trump at the election.
Jeff,
think so?
Hard to believe if people are still dying and his bumbling of the entire pandemic.
I'm not so sure that's right.
Yeah,
Why
I
would
mean,
you
the
say
most affected portion of the population is older people, and I mean, older people with a stick up their ass are people who are going to vote for him anyway. So, I mean, you really never can tell about that, but I mean, it's 50-50. I mean, if older people are scared to go out and younger people vote, I don't really imagine that a majority of them are going to vote for Trump.
Well,
I mean, I'm sure there are some younger people who vote for all lines of party and belief, but I don't know. I mean, the elections are run by the states anyway. I mean, the federal government doesn't have too much to say, other than setting the day that the election will be held. But past that, the elections are run by the individual states, so it's going to be on them to decide. I mean, if he doesn't like that an entire state decides the entire state will vote by mail, that's tough shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's the state's, decision. And if in a state were to make that decision, I don't want to hear Trump, I don't want to hear Phil, and I don't want to hear any person of the Republican Party suddenly abandoning their states' rights mantra that they've been singing about for the last 200 years. I mean, if a state wants to vote by mail, who is the federal government to tell them that's not good enough? And if all 50 states decide to vote by mail and Trump wins, and I come on this program and say I'm upset that Joe Biden lost because we voted by mail and I think that's horseshit, is Phil going to say, oh, no, that was fine. Voting by mail was the way to go? I mean, the hypocrisy, I mean, you can shake your head up and down, and that's fine. But the hypocrisy that wipes off of you and some other people on a daily basis is wearing thin with me. I mean, it's just, and I've been fair from 2013 when this whole deal started. Spades are spades. It is what it is. I've come on this program. I criticized President Obama on many occasions. I mean, I give you what I think. I'll give you historical fact. But some of this stuff that, I mean, you're wearing people out with it. And it's damaging to our political system. It's damaging to this country. And it's hurting people's lives in a real way. For people not to just, say what they actually think or what they actually believe and defend it with facts and have a decent conversation about it. I've never gotten on anyone for disagreeing with what I believed. Not once. Hey, you shouldn't think that because I think this, so you should think that too. I don't pull that garbage. But, it wears me out. And then when you're about to lose an argument, you make a joke. I mean, give me a fucking break, man.
I always make jokes, but you know what?
No, you don't always make jokes. You try to make jokes.
8 people telling me that what I think is wrong. And if you don't
I defended you.
Wait a minute.
Sorry about that.
Jeff, you're.
I'm sorry. I'm just.
Wait a minute, Jeff.
First of all, I think what Josh said was very well put together. Thank you.
Yes.
That's very well put together.
I mean, I'm just saying that if the commander of a major-sized naval vessel had written a letter to his commanding officer and said, you're not listening to me, I'm having trouble, I'm not getting the resources I need. If you don't start listening to me, we're going to have a major issue in a short period of time. And someone had leaked that letter in the Obama administration, and Obama had treated that captain the way that he was treated under this administration. And Trump's the commander-in-chief. I don't care if he personally did it or he didn't do it. And that guy would have been literally run off the ship on a rail and then sent his acting Secretary of the Navy down there to show his fucking ass and do what he did and then have to quit the next day in embarrassment. This would be a national scandal that Fox News would be plugging I mean, they would literally be on the air 24 hours a day. This Obama doesn't support the military. Look, he doesn't give him what he needs. He's anti-military. I mean, there would be no end to this garbage.
And all this
And I
guy,
don't hear any of that right now.
all this guy did, really, was cry and plead that he needed help for his crew. He wanted to save.
Right.
He didn't want if his people were going to die, it was going to be because the ship was sunk by the enemy, not because they got some disease that could have been prevented.
This guy's not the guy who even leaked the letter. He sent it to his commanding officer and up the chain the way he was supposed to. It's someone else who put their eyes on it that leaked it out there, not this gentleman. And all I've heard for all these years from people like Phil and other people, members of his, you got to trust these commanders in the field. You know, I mean, we send these guys to West Point and we train them up. You got to give them what they need. You got to listen to them. And then one of them does exactly what you want him to do, and you fire him, and you ruin his career, and you try to ruin his life, and they're going to keep doing it. And who says what? Well, you know, that's Trump. That's just the way he is. I don't like his methods, but he gets stuff done. That's like me saying, hey, the head coach of the team beats his players with a baseball bat, but shit, they win games. I wish he wouldn't do it, but hey, you know.
That's
fucking break.
wrong. All
That's
right.
what I say about it. The ends don't always just justify the means. As long as you get the end game, it doesn't matter how you get there.
Hey, the
I
guy
have never seen a guy
relieved
who
of his command.
fired so many people that a month before the Trump would say, what wonderful this guy is, how smart he is, how educated he is. He's a good friend of mine. I know him very well. I trust him, this and that. 6 weeks later, he's fired.
And I never knew the guy.
I never knew the guy.
And I never knew him. I've never met him before.
Right.
Yeah.
A bunch of crap.
I'm just saying, all I'm saying is this is example 947 of if this had happened 5 years ago, we'd have real trouble with what was going on. Yeah. And I don't hear anything about it. So all I'm saying is, you know, what's going to happen 2 years from now if the same person's not in office? I mean, I guess it's just going to be a free-for-all from here on out. You can just do whatever the fuck you want because they're going to be okay with it. So... But I don't think that's going to be the case. And it really shouldn't be, because you shouldn't be allowed to get away with this stuff. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jeff Hurst, we haven't heard from you in a while here. And I should have maybe in the beginning said, when I say Jeff, there are two Jeffs on the panel tonight. So I'll call.
No problem. It's just that you're talking domestic politics. As a Canadian, I don't really have a lot to say about it. It's pretty silly, to be honest with you, that, you know, people that defend him are only doing it because they're going to look like assholes if they don't, because, you know, why would you back someone that's so blatantly wrong? So you have to ignore all the stuff that he does and make excuses for it.
Well,
otherwise, how would you defend
well, you're
it?
out there in the Canadian hinterlands, okay? What is the attitude about Trump out in the Canadian hinterlands?
It's interesting because we're a big country. Up where I live,
Mm-hmm.
we're oil and gas country, so we're actually closer to Trump than we are to Trudeau. And like if I was in Quebec, calling you from Quebec, I'd be, you know, I'd feel the exact opposite. I'm all free enterprise and pull yourself up by your bootstraps and all that, right? And a lot of people, you know, I've got a lot of cousins in the States, and they love Trump. And, you know, they might not like what he does, but they like what he's doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I personally, I'm right in the middle of the road. I'm all about free enterprise and all that stuff. But I also love that I don't have to go broke if I want to go to the hospital.
Yeah. Anybody else have something they want to say here? Huh. Well, let's have this moment of silence then. I was thinking today. I mean, I'm thinking that it'd be very nice if after this whole thing is over with, or at least we're back on the mend again, that we do hold a moment of silence for all the people that have died of this horrible disease. in the entire world. I mean, right now, as of this moment, and let me just refresh this page. As of this moment, there are 1,484,811 totally confirmed cases, and total deaths in the world 88,538. Yes, Bree.
One of the other things I'm getting a little tired of is seeing all the celebrities in their, football-sized homes, telling us how what a struggle it is to try to deal with things. I'm even Tom Hanks, Rita Wilson. I'm always loved them, national treasure Tom Hanks, but some of the things they say, it just, I don't know. In this, if the end of the article doesn't say, and these people have donated $5 million for the cause, then I'm suspect about them. I don't need to see them jumping around.
I am always suspicious.
Saying, "Woe is me."
Yeah, I'm always suspicious of people who, in times like this, do something good and then let everybody know they did it. I'll give you an example of somebody who was the opposite way. David Letterman has given more money to various charities and schools and so on than almost anybody you can name in show business, okay? And has told each and every one of them, if any of you say where this money came from, you're not going to get any more from me. I don't want any credit for this. And I mean, Ball State owes their livelihood to David Letterman. There's stories I heard about him, and I won't tell them because he didn't want the world to know about them. But things that he did that I just went, if people knew this, they would think differently about David Letterman, because he is very, very philanthropic. And yet he doesn't want anybody to know, because he's saying, that's not the reason I'm doing it, and I don't want the publicity for it. And so when I hear that somebody does something, then all of a sudden I hear about it. Like I heard today, what's his name? The guy who dresses up as a woman. What's his name? You know who I'm talking about. Tyler Perry.
Oh.
Tyler Perry. He did something very nice today. He went into a supermarket and sat there and paid everybody's bill for like a couple of hours. So they all got free food. And I went, that's really wonderful. But then I stopped to think about it, and I said, that is wonderful, but how did I find out about it? I mean, couldn't he have just gone into it and done it? And maybe somebody who he did it for told the world about it. I'm going to give him credit that way. But, the act of giving is the reward in and of itself, and not what do you call it? The publicity you get out of it. And I see a lot of these businesses advertising, and they do this whole thing about we're America and we're strong and we're behind you 100%. Shell gas, and I go, couldn't you have done it like in just little letters on the bottom of the screen, so that, because you have to say who bought the time? Do you have to put your logo up there? Can't you just do it because it's the act of doing it that's important? So, yeah.
You know what I'm struck by? And I was thinking about this today because I was sitting outside again working for most of the day. Mm-hmm. I remember I was in New York City for 9/11. Were you there, Alex, in 2001?
No, I wasn't. No.
Okay. So I worked in New York City and lived in Queens back in those days. And the feeling, the attitude of people, the solemn behavior of people, everything came to a stop. 9/11. How many people perished? 2,500?
It's about 3,000.
3,000.
A little shy of 3,000.
How many people have perished because of this? And I see people, my neighbors, I got to tell you, I've got a bunch of neighbors. I don't know where their IQs are, but all the kids are playing. It's like they're in the backyard.
Yeah.
And they're playing like it's a summer day and there's nothing. And the adults are all standing. There's no social distancing. And it's like this isn't really happening. There's a huge difference in the 3,000 people we lost on 9/11 versus what's going on with this pandemic and how many people it's killed. And everybody is just, it's not affecting me, and nobody is, there's just a different tenor. People
And also during that time, Rob, I felt that President Bush brought us together.
Yes.
I really thought he was great, you know. And
too.
right now, I
Listen,
would
a
put,
guy I can't
I would
stand.
rather have Bill Gates in charge.
Yeah,
I would put Bill Gates in charge
yeah.
of this whole thing, because he seems to understand. When I hear him talk, he's learned, he's compassionate, he backs up what he says, he knows, he has plans for what he's doing. Bill Gates, to me, gives me far greater sense that we could get through this. I cannot watch a Donald Trump press conference. I cannot. It's public relations versus reality.
Mm-hmm. I don't.
Charlie, quickly, let's go to Charlie. We're running out of time. Yes, Charlie.
I just want to mention it. Even Bush, when he had his briefings on 9/11, you never had people going up there before they gave any facts saying, "Oh, what a wonderful job Bush is doing. Oh, Bush is just the greatest person to ever live." And nobody can speak at a Trump conference without saying that stuff first.
Yeah. So yeah, what we need at a time like this is somebody to rally us, and we don't have anybody rallying us except for, if you're in New York, Mario Cuomo is doing a great job of rallying us. You know, he has been a very, I can't say calming effect on us, but he has certainly had. We feel that there's a captain at the helm, okay, and there's somebody who's literally moving every ounce of his abilities to try and lick this thing and to get us to help him to do it. And that's the kind of leadership, you know, you need. And I just wish we had it more from the White House. We get it more from his vice president than we do from him, you know.
Could you imagine World War II if Trump were president?
I was thinking about that tonight.
You're on your own.
If we were in the middle of a war, how would he handle it? Anyway, hey, listen, that's our theme playing, and I have a whole bunch of people to thank here. First of all, Rob Alfano, and then Phil Meyer, and of course Josh Wheeler, and Charlie, and Kevin, and Jeff, and Bree. Boy, that's a mouthful. Hey, everybody, give a big wave goodbye, and I'll wave you goodbye as well, okay? Here we go. Goodbye, everybody. There they go. Okay. That's it for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. That's all she wrote. Let me just hang up on these people and get the lines ready for our next program, which is, of course, the what's the name of it? Oh, it's The Intersection with Jack Bishop. Okay, all right. And I'll be back again tomorrow night with more of this insanity. I probably won't do a show during the day tomorrow, but when I do the next time, I will put it up on Facebook so people will know it for sure. All right? Okay. Anyway, that's it for me tonight. See you tomorrow night, 10:30 Eastern Daylight Time. In the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye. Good night, everybody, and be safe.